A blinding sphere of primordial purple energy consumes the visual field. Reality itself folds inward like crushed paper. Son Goku floats suspended within the singularity of absolute destruction. His orange gi vaporizes instantly. His skin turns to gray ash. He screams a silent cry as his very existence is violently unwritten from the cosmos. The sphere of absolute destruction expands. It carries a sickly purple hue. The energy emits no sound. It consumes the oxygen in the atmosphere. The air pressure drops instantly. A vacuum forms around the blast radius. Goku raises his arms. He crosses his wrists in an X block. He plants his boots into the bedrock. The stone cracks under his weight. He channels his divine ki. A blue aura erupts around his body. The aura roars like a jet engine. It lashes against the encroaching silence. The blue light clashes with the purple sphere. The collision creates a blinding flash. Reality groans under the stress. Space fractures like brittle glass. Jagged black lines spiderweb across the sky. The dimensional walls begin to tear. The purple energy pushes forward. It ignores Goku's divine aura. It phases directly through the blue light. The destructive force touches his forearms. Goku widens his eyes. His pupils shrink to tiny pinpricks. His jaw drops open. Pain registers on his face. It is not physical pain. It is the tearing of his very existence. The sleeves of his orange gi disintegrate. The fabric does not burn. There is no smoke. It simply ceases to exist. The energy touches his bare skin. His flesh turns a horrific shade of gray. The color drains from his muscles. Microscopic flakes peel away from his arms. The flakes float upward into the vacuum. They dissolve into absolute nothingness. Goku grates his teeth. His jaw muscles bulge. Blood leaks from his lower lip. The blood evaporates instantly upon exposure to the air. He pushes back with all his remaining strength. His biceps swell. Veins pulse erratically on his forehead. He digs his heels deeper into the earth. Sparks of silver energy flicker in his hair. He tries to tap into Ultra Instinct. His mind seeks the state of perfect calm. The Hakai disrupts the neural pathways. The purple energy invades his nervous system. It deletes his motor functions. The silver sparks die out instantly. The effort is entirely futile. The primordial Hakai does not recognize physical strength. It does not acknowledge divine techniques. It only recognizes absolute deletion. The ancient god of destruction hovers above the battlefield. His name is Zenos. He wears ancient, tattered robes. The fabric is woven from dark matter. Zenos watches with cold indifference. His eyes lack pupils. They glow with a hollow white light. He tilts his head to the right. He lowers his right index finger. He taps the air. The purple sphere condenses immediately. It grows infinitely heavier. The gravity around Goku collapses inward. The ground beneath his boots vaporizes. A massive, smooth crater forms instantly. There is no flying debris. There is no rising dust cloud. The earth is simply deleted from reality. Goku begins to fall into the new abyss. The sphere follows him down. It swallows his entire body whole. The blue aura dies completely. Goku opens his mouth to scream. No sound emerges. The purple energy deletes the sound waves. It deletes the oxygen in his lungs. His chest cavity caves inward. His rib cage turns to gray ash. The ash scatters in the violent void. His heart stops beating. The organ dissolves into basic atoms. His life force plummets to zero. Vegeta watches from the edge of the crater. His breath catches in his throat. He stops breathing entirely. His eyes lock onto the singularity. His knees tremble violently. His armor cracks under his own involuntary muscle spasms. He tries to take a step forward. His right boot hovers in the air. His body refuses to move any further. A primal terror paralyzes his nervous system. He drops his foot back to the ground. Gohan stands beside him. Gohan drops heavily to his knees. The impact bruises his kneecaps. His hands claw desperately at the dirt. He rips chunks of soil from the ground. Tears stream down his face. The tears leave clean streaks on his dirt-covered cheeks. He screams his father's name. His vocal cords tear from the strain. The sound is swallowed by the roaring vacuum of the crater. Piccolo stands frozen on the opposite ridge. His green skin pales to a sickly yellow. His antennae twitch erratically in the shifting air currents. His heavy cape billows behind him. He reaches out with his mind. He casts his telepathic net across the battlefield. He searches frantically for Goku's energy signature. He finds absolutely nothing. It is not a faint signal. It is a total void. The telepathic connection is severed permanently. Piccolo stumbles backward. He trips over a loose rock. He falls onto his back. He does not attempt to stand up. Inside the sphere, Goku loses his physical form. His legs dissolve into fine white dust. The dust swirls in a chaotic vortex. His muscular torso crumbles inward. His spine turns to liquid light. The light extinguishes. His neck turns to coarse ash. His face is the last physical thing remaining. His silver hair loses its metallic shine. The strands turn brittle and dry. They snap off near the scalp. They float away and disappear. His eyes lose their focus. The bright light extinguishes behind his irises. His corneas turn opaque. His consciousness fades into the encroaching dark. His memories begin to unravel. The image of Chi-Chi dissolves. The image of Goten fades. The memory of Grandpa Gohan is erased. The concept of Son Goku is unwritten from the cosmos. The purple sphere shrinks rapidly. It collapses into a single microscopic point of light. The point of light flashes one final time. It creates a silent shockwave. The shockwave knocks Gohan flat on his chest. It pushes Vegeta backward by a single inch. The light vanishes completely. The sky returns to a dead yellow. The battlefield falls into absolute silence. The harsh wind stops blowing. The world holds its breath. Vegeta stares at the empty space above the crater. His mind fractures under the weight of the reality. He cannot comprehend the absolute absence. Goku is not dead. Death implies a journey to the afterlife. Death leaves a soul for King Yama to judge. Death leaves a body to be buried. Goku has been permanently unwritten. Far away on Earth, the sky darkens drastically. Thick black clouds roll over the continents. Lightning flashes without thunder. Dende stands on the edge of the lookout. He clutches his chest tightly. His breathing becomes shallow. He falls sideways onto the cold white tiles. His wooden staff clatters across the floor. "Mister." Popo rushes immediately to his side. Dende gasps for air. He feels a physical tear in the fabric of the universe. His divine link to the cosmos screams in agony. Deep within the Earth's crust, a cavern remains hidden. The 7 Dragon Balls rest on a stone pedestal. They pulse with a faint golden light. The light illuminates the damp cave walls. Suddenly, the 1-star ball shatters. A jagged crack splits it directly down the middle. The golden light dies instantly. The smooth orange surface turns to porous gray stone. The 2-star ball shatters next. The sharp sound echoes loudly through the cavern. The 3-star ball cracks into 4 uneven pieces. The 4-star ball splits violently. The top half slides off the bottom half. The 5-star ball turns entirely to dust. The dust settles on the stone pedestal. The 6-star ball crumbles inward. The 7-star ball explodes into tiny gravel fragments. The magical link is broken irrevocably. Shenron's essence fades from the mortal realm. The physical manifestation of the dragon disappears from the planet's core. The universe acknowledges the ultimate deletion. A soul erased by primordial Hakai cannot be wished back. The magic requires a spiritual target. The target no longer exists in any timeline. The paradox breaks the dragon's ancient magic. Back on the devastated battlefield, Zenos descends slowly. He floats downward without moving his limbs. His bare feet touch the edge of the smooth crater. He crosses his arms behind his back. He surveys the broken mortal warriors. He smiles. It is a thin, cruel expression. His lips pull back over perfectly pointed teeth. Vegeta forces his heavy head up. He glares at the ancient god. His initial terror morphs into a blinding, irrational rage. He bites his lower lip violently. Blood fills his mouth. He spits a crimson glob onto the scorched dirt. He forces himself to stand. His joints pop and crack in protest. Gohan remains flat on the ground. He stares blankly into the bottom of the crater. His mind refuses to process the visual data. His brain rejects the trauma. His father is gone. There is no body to recover. There is no spirit to sense across the dimensions. Piccolo clenches his large green fists. His knuckles pop loudly in the dead silence. He knows the ancient rules of the gods. He understands the absolute permanence of Hakai. This was not a standard destruction technique used by Beerus. This was the primordial variant. It burns the soul from the past. It deletes the soul from the present. It eradicates the soul from the future. It leaves a permanent, bleeding scar on reality. Zenos clears his throat. The wet sound cuts through the silence like a physical blade. Vegeta flinches at the noise. Gohan blinks slowly. Piccolo steps defensively in front of Gohan's prone body. Zenos chuckles softly. The sound lacks any trace of warmth. It is the sound of absolute supremacy. He raises his right hand. He points a single, long finger at Vegeta. A small purple spark ignites on his pale fingertip. Vegeta's aura flares to life in response. It is a chaotic purple energy. He taps into his own ultra ego. His brow ridge vanishes. His eyes turn a deep magenta. The power surges through his veins. It feels incredibly hollow. It feels pathetic compared to the ancient god standing before him. Zenos does not fire the energy blast. He simply closes his hand into a fist. The spark extinguishes. He lowers his arm to his side. He looks up at the toxic yellow sky. He inhales deeply through his nose. He savors the distinct scent of absolute despair. Goku's sudden deletion left a physical void in the atmosphere. Nature fundamentally abhors a vacuum. The surrounding air rushes inward to fill the empty space. A sudden gale sweeps across the massive crater. It kicks up fine dust and loose rock. It carries a faint trace of heat. The heat is unnatural. It is a byproduct of absolute molecular friction. It is the thermal footprint of a soul resisting deletion at the final microscopic level. No one on the battlefield notices the slight temperature change. They are entirely consumed by their own grief. They are paralyzed by their inescapable fear. Goku's existence is a closed book. The final page has been burned to ash. The ashes scatter across the dead, alien world. The universe continues to spin on its axis. It spins without its greatest defender. The silence stretches outward into eternity. The ancient god takes a single step forward. The sound of his footstep echoes like a death knell. The battle is over. The era of the Saiyan is finished. Zenos raises his gaze. He looks toward the distant horizon. A dark storm gathers in the east. The clouds swirl in a slow, hypnotic spiral. Lightning strikes the barren ground. The flash illuminates the total destruction. Vegeta clenches his fists tighter. His fingernails dig into his palms. Blood drips onto the dry soil. Gohan remains entirely motionless. His breathing is dangerously shallow. Piccolo slowly lowers his defensive stance. He realizes resistance is completely useless. The ancient god holds absolute power. The universe has been permanently altered. A cold wind blows through the valley. It chills the surviving warriors to the bone. The ashes of Son Goku drift further away. They scatter into the infinite dark void. The darkness fully claims the battlefield. Zenos lowers his gaze. He looks down at the broken warriors. He raises his left hand. He snaps his fingers. A massive holographic projection appears in the sky. The projection displays the planet Earth. Blue oceans swirl under white clouds. Zenos points at the blue sphere. A massive digital clock materializes above the planet. The numbers glow with a toxic green light. The timer reads exactly 10 minutes. The countdown begins immediately. The digital seconds tick away silently. Zenos speaks directly to Vegeta. His voice echoes inside their skulls. He promises the exact same primordial Hakai for their homeworld. 10 minutes remain until total erasure. Vegeta stares at the countdown. His pupils dilate. His breathing stops. The rational part of his brain shuts down completely. A dark fury ignites in his chest. It burns through his grief. It incinerates his fear. Vegeta screams at the toxic sky. The sound tears his vocal cords. Blood sprays from his mouth. His purple aura erupts. The energy column pierces the heavy clouds. The ground shatters beneath his boots. Gravity inverts around his body. Floating rocks turn to dust in his aura. His muscles expand drastically. His armor cracks across the chest plate. The white armor pieces fall away. They vaporize in midair. Vegeta ascends past his normal ultra ego state. His skin turns a bruised purple. Veins bulge like thick ropes across his neck. He sacrifices his own life force for raw power. He condenses all his remaining ki into a single strike. He bends his knees. He launches himself forward. A sonic boom shatters the silence. The shockwave knocks Piccolo backward. Vegeta crosses the battlefield in a microsecond. He appears directly in front of Zenos. Zenos does not blink. Vegeta swings his right fist. He aims for the ancient god's face. His knuckles connect with solid bone. The impact creates a massive concussive wave. The air pressure flattens the surrounding mountains. Zenos' head snaps backward. His neck bends at a sharp angle. Vegeta does not stop. He drives his left knee upward. The knee sinks deep into Zenos' stomach. The ancient god bends forward. Vegeta clasps both hands together. He raises his fists above his head. He brings them down like a massive hammer. The strike hits Zenos on the back of the neck. Zenos crashes into the bedrock. The impact creates a crater twice the size of Goku's deletion zone. Vegeta breathes heavily. His purple aura flickers erratically. Blood leaks from his nose. His body cannot handle the volatile energy. He ignores the internal damage. He raises his right hand. He forms a massive sphere of Hakai energy. The sphere glows with blinding intensity. He throws the sphere down into the crater. The energy blast engulfs Zenos completely. A purple mushroom cloud rises into the atmosphere. The explosion scorches the very fabric of space. Vegeta drops his arm. He gasps for air. His chest heaves. He stares into the burning crater. There is no movement. There is no energy signature. Vegeta allows a grim smile to form on his bloody lips. He believes he has avenged his rival. He thinks the nightmare is over. The smoke clears instantly. The toxic wind blows the dust away. Zenos stands completely still in the crater. His robes are completely untouched. His dark matter fabric bears no scorch marks. His neck snaps back into place. The horrific cracking sound echoes across the wasteland. His broken spine realigns perfectly. His bruised flesh heals in a fraction of a second. He possesses a twisted, ancient immortality. Mortal damage does not register on his divine form. Vegeta loses his grim smile. His eyes widen in absolute horror. The purple aura dies completely. His volatile transformation collapses. He reverts to his base form. Black hair falls over his eyes. He drops to his knees. Exhaustion paralyzes his muscles. Zenos looks up at the defeated prince. He raises his right hand. He telekinetically lifts Vegeta from the ground. Vegeta floats helplessly in the air. His arms dangle at his sides. Zenos points a single finger at Vegeta's chest. He flicks his wrist upward. An invisible force strikes Vegeta's torso. The impact sounds like a snapping tree trunk. Vegeta's spine shatters into dozens of pieces. Bone fragments pierce his internal organs. He spits up a massive amount of dark blood. His eyes roll back into his head. He falls to the ground like a broken doll. His body hits the dirt with a heavy thud. He does not move. He does not breathe. Gohan watches the brutal execution. His mind snaps completely. He buries his face in the dirt. He wails in absolute despair. The sound is a pathetic, broken noise. Piccolo turns his face away. He closes his eyes tightly. He accepts the impending doom. Above them, the holographic clock ticks down. 7 minutes remain. On Earth, the atmosphere breaks down completely. The sudden death of the Dragon Balls destabilized the planet's magical core. Massive earthquakes tear across the continents. Tsunamis swallow entire coastal cities. The sky bleeds a terrifying shade of crimson. The laws of the multiverse assert their dominance. Without its greatest protector, the world prepares for deletion. Panic consumes the human population. People run aimlessly through the crumbling streets. Bulma stares at a massive monitor in Capsule Corporation. The screen displays erratic, terrifying energy readings. She falls into her office chair. She covers her mouth with her trembling hands. Tears spill over her eyelashes. She knows Vegeta has failed. She knows Goku is gone. The universe prepares to close the book on Universe 7. Deep in the vacuum of space, a microscopic event occurs. The scene shifts away from the carnage. It focuses on the empty void above the crater. Goku's gray ashes drift aimlessly on the solar wind. The dust particles are infinitely small. They lack any biological structure. They are entirely devoid of ki. They are legally and physically dead. However, a strange anomaly begins. One single particle of ash stops drifting. It hovers perfectly still in the zero-gravity environment. A microscopic shift happens within the carbon structure. The thermal energy from the primordial Hakai did not dissipate. The extreme friction of absolute deletion created a paradoxical heat. The heat was trapped inside the dead ash. The particle begins to vibrate. The vibration generates more internal heat. The gray surface of the microscopic flake darkens. It turns pitch black. A tiny crack forms on the black surface. A subatomic red light bleeds through the crack. It is not a Kai signature. It is pure, unadulterated thermal energy. It is the biological rebellion of a Saiyan pushed past the ultimate boundary. The red light pulses slowly. It matches the rhythm of a beating heart. The single particle of ash drifts toward a second particle. The two dead flakes collide. They fuse together instantly. The red light brightens. The heat signature increases exponentially. A third particle joins the cluster. A fourth particle fuses with the mass. The dead dust begins to gather in the frozen void. The clock ticks down to 6 minutes. The battlefield remains dead and silent. Zenos stands victorious. He does not notice the rising temperature in the upper atmosphere. He does not look up. He merely waits for the countdown to end. He waits to erase the final remnants of Goku's legacy. The glowing cluster of ash grows to the size of a marble. It radiates an intense, blinding crimson light. The light cuts through the toxic yellow clouds. The heat begins to warp the air around the anomaly. A new law of physics is being written in real time. The universe holds its breath once more. The ashes refuse to scatter. The dead refuse to stay dead. The countdown continues its relentless march. The marble-sized ember expands. It grows to the size of a clenched fist. The crimson light turns into a deep, aggressive orange. The surrounding space begins to boil. The vacuum hums with a low, terrifying frequency. The sound is felt rather than heard. It rattles the loose pebbles on the ground below. Vegeta lies motionless in the dirt. His shattered spine keeps him paralyzed. His right index finger twitches slightly. His blurry vision catches a glimpse of the orange glow in the sky. He cannot comprehend the sight. His brain registers the impossible heat. The air pressure drops again. This time, it is not a destructive vacuum. It is an aggressive intake of oxygen. The glowing ember is breathing. It draws the toxic atmosphere into its burning core. The ash feeds on the surrounding environment. The cluster of dust takes the shape of a jagged sphere. Flashes of yellow lightning spark across the burning surface. The lightning does not strike the ground. It wraps around the sphere like a protective cage. The temperature of the battlefield rises by 10 degrees. Piccolo opens his eyes. He feels the sudden wave of intense heat. He looks up at the toxic sky. His jaw drops slightly. He sees the burning sphere hovering above the crater. He does not sense any familiar ki. He only senses raw, catastrophic thermal energy. Zenos finally tilts his head upward. His white eyes lock onto the burning anomaly. His smug expression vanishes instantly. His pale brow furrows in genuine confusion. The primordial Hakai leaves absolutely nothing behind. This is an unbreakable cosmic law. Zenos narrows his eyes at the glowing ash. He clenches his right fist. He prepares to fire another sphere of destruction. He will not allow any paradox to exist in his domain. The digital clock drops to 5 minutes. The burning sphere pulses violently. It prepares to shatter the boundaries of reality. The silent dust is no longer silent. It screams with the heat of a billion suns. The digital clock hits 4 minutes. The holographic numbers bleed a toxic green light. Zenos lowers his gaze from the burning anomaly. He dismisses the glowing sphere as a momentary glitch. He focuses on the remaining mortal trash. He raises both hands above his head. A new sphere of purple energy forms between his palms. This sphere is infinitely larger than the first. It crackles with dark matter lightning. The destructive gravity pulls loose rocks from the ground. The stones vaporize before touching the purple energy. Zenos intends to erase the entire continent. He plans to delete the survivors before the clock expires. Gohan pushes himself up from the dirt. His arms shake violently under his own weight. His eyes are red and swollen. Tears cut clean tracks through the grime on his face. He screams with raw animalistic fury. A blinding white aura explodes around his body. He cups his hands at his right side. A blue sphere of ki illuminates his palms. He channels every ounce of his remaining life force. He thrusts his hands forward. He fires a massive Kamehameha wave directly at Zenos. Zenos does not even look at the incoming attack. He simply flicks his left wrist outward. The Kamehameha shatters like fragile glass. The blue light splinters into harmless sparks. Gohan falls forward onto his hands and knees. He vomits a pool of clear fluid and blood. His ultimate aura snuffs out completely. Absolute despair suffocates the battlefield. Piccolo drops to his knees beside Gohan. He places a heavy green hand on Gohan's trembling shoulder. He offers no words of comfort. Vegeta watches from his paralyzed position. His shattered spine screams with every shallow breath. He cannot turn his head. He can only stare at the forming sphere of destruction. He accepts his complete failure. He failed to protect his family. He failed to avenge his rival. The Saiyan race ends here in the dust. Zenos chuckles as the purple sphere expands. The sound vibrates through the ground. However, a scientific paradox unfolds above them. The burning sphere of ash continues to grow. The extreme thermal energy refuses to dissipate. The heat is trapped in a localized pocket of warped space. The universe tries to cool the anomaly. The laws of thermodynamics attempt to extinguish the fire. The attempt fails entirely. The primordial destruction pushed the Saiyan genetic code past its boundary. The cells no longer exist in a physical state. They exist purely as a concept of resistance. The concept triggers a massive biological rebellion. The lingering heat violently ignites the floating ashes. A sudden explosion of crimson flame erupts in the cold void. It pushes the toxic clouds away from the epicenter. The flame does not consume oxygen. It burns on the sheer willpower of the deceased. The temperature of the entire planet spikes dramatically. Oceans boil on the other side of the globe. Ice caps melt into raging torrents. The holographic clock malfunctions under the extreme heat. The digital green numbers flicker and distort. The timer pauses at exactly 3 minutes. Zenos stops expanding his destruction sphere. He looks back up at the sky. His white eyes narrow into sharp slits. The crimson flame spreads across the vacuum. It takes the shape of a massive bird. Wings of fire stretch across the blackened sky. The heat scorches the dark matter fabric of Zenos' robes. The ancient god takes a half-step backward. It is his first physical retreat in 10 million years. He feels a sensation he has long forgotten. He feels the stinging bite of heat. The Hakai energy is designed to delete matter. It cannot delete pure conceptual heat. The fire is unquenchable. It feeds on the residual energy of the initial Hakai. The more Zenos destroyed, the hotter the flame burns. The ashes swirl violently within the fiery vortex. They begin to coalesce into a solid core. The core pulses with the rhythm of a heartbeat. The sound echoes across the silent wasteland. The rhythmic thud shakes the tectonic plates. Vegeta hears the sound through the bedrock. His magenta eyes widen in shock. He recognizes the cadence of that specific heartbeat. It is the rhythm of a low-class warrior. Gohan lifts his heavy head from the dirt. His ears twitch at the booming sound. He stares at the sky in total disbelief. Piccolo stands up slowly. His green cape catches fire from the ambient heat. He rips the burning fabric from his shoulders. He ignores the severe burns on his skin. He stares directly into the crimson inferno. The massive bird of fire folds its wings inward. The flames condense into a humanoid silhouette. The silhouette floats directly above the crater. It lacks distinct facial features. It is a pure avatar of burning ash. Zenos growls in sudden frustration. He thrusts his hands upward. He launches his massive purple sphere at the burning silhouette. The sphere of absolute destruction travels at light speed. It crashes into the crimson avatar. An explosion of purple and red light blinds the onlookers. The ground shakes violently. Massive fissures tear through the continent. Zenos smirks triumphantly. He lowers his arms. He believes the paradox is finally erased. The blinding light fades slowly. The smoke clears from the upper atmosphere. The crimson avatar remains perfectly intact. The purple energy did not delete it. The Hakai simply fed the raging fire. The avatar absorbed the destruction. It converted the deletion energy into pure fuel. The silhouette glows brighter than before. Zenos clenches his jaw. His perfectly pointed teeth grind together. He cannot comprehend the survival of the anomaly. A soul deleted by Primordial Hakai is gone forever. There is no coming back from the void. The universe enforces this rule strictly. Yet the rule is actively burning away. The avatar of ash raises its right arm. The movement is fluid and precise. The air becomes too thick to breathe. The crimson flames around the avatar begin to recede. They pull inward toward the solid ash core. The fire binds the dead particles together. It creates a new type of flesh. The flesh is not made of carbon or water. It is made of immortal heat and dead dust. The resurrection process nears its climax. The universe prepares for a new cosmic entity. The ashes form a defined chest and broad shoulders. The fire sculpts muscular arms and clenched fists. The silhouette turns its head toward Zenos. Two glowing red eyes open in the featureless face. The gaze is devoid of any mortal mercy. It is the hollow stare of the grave. The silence is broken by a single spoken word. The voice does not travel through the air. It bypasses the eardrums entirely. It echoes directly inside the minds of everyone present. The voice is deep and heavily distorted. It sounds like cracking stone and roaring fire. It speaks a simple Saiyan command. The word translates to a declaration of war. Zenos recoils instinctively. He senses a power that operates outside his jurisdiction. The ticking clock remains frozen at 3 minutes. The countdown to Earth's destruction is permanently halted. The lowest point has officially passed. The heat of annihilation gives birth to a nightmare. The crimson flames pull inward. They fuse with the dead gray dust. The humanoid silhouette solidifies into a physical body. Zenos stares in absolute disbelief. His ancient composure shatters. He raises his right hand. He points his index finger at the forming entity. He fires a rapid barrage of Hakai blasts. Purple spheres streak across the sky. They tear through the toxic clouds. They strike the avatar in rapid succession. Explosions of dark energy rock the upper atmosphere. The shockwaves flatten the surrounding mountain ranges. Zenos breathes heavily. He drops his arm to his side. The dark smoke clears. The avatar remains entirely unharmed. The purple energy swirls around its burning body. The dark energy sinks into the fiery flesh. The avatar absorbs the destruction effortlessly. The Hakai serves as fuel for the resurrection. The fiery shell cracks open. Large chunks of burning ash fall away. They hit the ground. They melt directly through the bedrock. A new figure steps forward from the inferno. Son Goku stands above the crater. He looks nothing like a mortal Saiyan. His traditional orange gi is gone. His body is a terrifying new construct. His flesh resembles cooling volcanic magma. Deep fissures run across his chest and arms. The fissures glow with blinding orange heat. His skin is a dark, hardened charcoal color. His hair lacks any distinct individual strands. It flows upward like a solid crown of fire. His eyes contain no pupils or irises. They are pure pools of liquid gold. He lowers his arms to his sides. The ambient temperature of the planet drops slightly. The heat localizes entirely within his new body. Goku looks down at his large hands. He clenches his left fist. The movement creates a loud grinding sound. It sounds like tectonic plates shifting underground. Sparks of pure fire cascade from his knuckles. Vegeta watches from the ruined dirt. His shattered spine keeps him pinned. He stares at the impossible entity in the sky. He recognizes the distinct facial structure. He feels a profound sense of awe. The fear vanishes from his mind. He witnesses the birth of a true cosmic anomaly. Gohan covers his eyes against the blinding heat. He whispers his father's name into the wind. Piccolo crosses his green arms over his chest. He analyzes the strange new energy signature. He finds 0 mortal ki. He finds 0 divine ki within the form. He senses only the raw power of a cosmic paradox. Goku turns his golden gaze towards Zenos. The ancient god flinches visibly at the stare. Zenos steps backward in the empty air. His white eyes dart around. He searches the environment for a tactical advantage. He finds absolutely nothing useful. He raises both hands in a defensive posture. He summons a massive shield of primordial dark matter. The shield surrounds his body in a purple sphere. Goku takes a single step forward. He does not use Kai to fly. He walks directly on the empty air. The atmosphere solidifies under his burning boots. Every footstep leaves a floating footprint of fire. He closes the massive distance between them. His pace is incredibly slow and deliberate. Zenos pushes his hands forward in panic. He expands the dark matter shield. He attempts to crush Goku with the expanding barrier. The purple sphere collides hard with Goku's chest. Goku does not stop walking. He phases directly through the dense Hakai energy. The barrier parts around his body like water. The destructive energy washes over his magma skin. It fails to delete a single microscopic atom. Goku enters the center of the dark shield. He stands face to face with the ancient god. Zenos trembles from head to toe. His perfect teeth chatter in the silence. He looks up into Goku's golden glowing eyes. Goku opens his mouth to speak. His voice echoes from the center of the earth. It sounds like a chorus of dying stars. He states a fundamental truth. He declares his permanent immunity to Hakai. He explains the cosmic loophole to his enemy. The Erasure technique targets living physical matter. It targets existing spiritual souls. Goku's original soul was unwritten from time. His original body was turned to absolute dust. He is already perfectly dead by cosmic law. A thing that does not exist cannot be deleted again. He exists strictly as an error in the timeline. He is the Ashen Phoenix reborn from 0. Zenos screams in pathetic denial. He channels all his remaining primordial power. He thrusts his right fist at Goku's face. The punch carries enough force to shatter a galaxy. Goku raises his left hand effortlessly. He catches the desperate punch in his open palm. He does not even bend his thick elbow. The impact creates a shockwave of negative space. The sky turns pitch black for a split second. Zenos attempts to pull his fist back. Goku's charcoal fingers tighten their grip. The heat from Goku's palm transfers to Zenos' hand. The ancient dark matter fabric catches fire. Zenos howls in agony. His immortal pale flesh begins to blister. The primordial regeneration fails to trigger. The Phoenix flame cauterizes the wounds instantly. It permanently stops the divine healing factor. Goku squeezes his hand even tighter. Zenos' knuckles shatter under the pressure. The sound of breaking bone fills the vacuum. Vegeta forces a weak, bloody smile. He watches the ancient god suffer. Gohan stands up slowly on shaky legs. Piccolo lowers his arms to his sides. Goku stares blankly at his broken enemy. He acts entirely on the instinct of the resurrection flame. He shifts his heavy weight forward. He pulls Zenos closer to his magma chest. The intense heat radiates off his charcoal skin. It singes Zenos' pale, flawless face. The ancient god struggles weakly against the iron grip. He kicks his left leg at Goku's stomach. His foot bounces harmlessly off the hardened ash. The impact shatters Zenos' own shin bone. Zenos collapses slightly in midair. Goku holds him upright by the crushed right hand. The golden eyes pierce directly through Zenos' mind. They strip away his unearned divine authority. They expose his ancient pathetic cowardice. Zenos realizes his absolute fundamental powerlessness. He is a god of destruction facing an indestructible paradox. The Hakai is merely a tool of the living universe. Goku operates strictly outside the living universe. He is a walking conscious graveyard. He is the physical monument of his own demise. The crimson crown of fire flares higher into the sky. It brightly illuminates the entire darkened battlefield. The toxic yellow clouds burn away completely. A perfectly clear view of the cosmos is revealed. The distant stars shine down on the anomaly. Goku tilts his heavy head slightly to the left. He observes the fear in his enemy's eyes. He finds the emotion completely useless. The physical paradox demands an immediate resolution. Goku prepares to permanently balance the cosmic scale. He pulls his right arm backward. The glowing magma muscles expand significantly. The fiery veins pulse with infinite thermal energy. He targets the exact center of Zenos' chest. The ancient god closes his hollow white eyes. He awaits the inevitable, devastating impact. The ashes of Son Goku have reclaimed the battlefield completely. The Ashen Phoenix prepares to deliver the final verdict. Goku drives his right fist forward. The charcoal knuckles strike Zenos in the center of his chest. The impact produces no immediate sound. The kinetic energy transfers perfectly into the ancient god's body. Zenos' ribcage shatters instantly. The bone fragments turn to dust inside his chest cavity. A shockwave of pure heat erupts from his back. The heat beam pierces the dark matter shield. It travels outward into the distant cosmos. It instantly incinerates a dead moon in the upper orbit. Zenos gasps for air. His lungs collapse under the immense pressure. Goku does not pull his fist back. He steps deeper into Zenos' personal space. He drives his left knee into Zenos' stomach. The strike folds the ancient god perfectly in half. Black blood erupts from Zenos' mouth. The blood evaporates before it hits the ground. Goku releases his grip on Zenos' crushed hand. He grabs Zenos by the throat. The thick magma fingers wrap around the pale neck. The Phoenix flame sears the flesh down to the bone. Zenos thrashes his legs in absolute panic. He summons a desperate blade of dark energy. He swings the blade at Goku's neck. The dark weapon shatters upon contact with the hardened ash. Goku does not even blink. His golden eyes remain fixed on his broken prey. He drags Zenos downward toward the ruined earth. He plunges from the sky like a burning meteorite. The descent tears a vacuum tube through the atmosphere. He slams Zenos into the bedrock. The collision creates a massive web of glowing orange fissures. The entire tectonic plate fractures under the force. Lava erupts from the deep cracks in the ground. The battlefield turns into a boiling volcanic wasteland. Goku stands over the crater. He still holds Zenos by the throat. The ancient god claws uselessly at Goku's thick wrist. His pristine dark matter robes burn into ragged cinders. His flawless pale skin melts like wax. Goku raises his free right hand into the air. He opens his palm flat toward the sky. A small sphere of crimson fire forms above his hand. The sphere is no larger than a baseball. It contains the condensed heat of a dying star. The gravity around the sphere warps violently. Light bends inward toward the fiery core. The surrounding space distorts like melted glass. Vegeta watches the execution from the edge of the destruction. His paralyzed body trembles from the ambient heat. His shattered spine keeps him anchored to the boiling earth. He feels the sheer, overwhelming weight of Goku's new power. It is not a martial arts technique. It is a pure execution of cosmic balance. Gohan covers Piccolo's eyes. He shields his mentor from the blinding light. The glare from the small sphere threatens to blind them permanently. Zenos looks up at the burning orb. His ancient immortality has failed him completely. His divine regeneration is permanently broken. He feels true mortal terror for the first time in his existence. He tries to beg for mercy. His crushed windpipe prevents him from speaking. He can only utter a pathetic wet gurgle. Tears of pure black energy leak from his white eyes. Goku stares down without a single trace of empathy. The original Goku would have shown mercy. The original Goku would have offered a Sendu bean. The original Goku is entirely dead. The Ashen Phoenix operates on absolute fundamental laws. A threat to existence must be burned away. The scales of the universe demand immediate correction. Goku lowers his right hand slowly. He presses the small sphere directly against Zenos' forehead. The explosion is utterly silent. A pillar of crimson fire shoots straight up into the atmosphere. It pierces the physical fabric of the universe. It reaches the very edge of the mortal realm. Zenos' physical form dissolves instantly within the light. His dark matter robes burn away into absolute nothingness. His pale flesh turns to gray floating ash. The Phoenix flame consumes his divine soul entirely. It leaves absolutely zero trace of his existence behind. The Supreme Executioner is officially executed. The crimson pillar fades slowly into the darkness. The intense heat begins to dissipate into the vacuum of space. Goku stands alone in the center of the molten crater. He lowers his heavy arms to his sides. The golden light in his eyes dims slightly. The jagged fissures on his body cool to a dark orange. He turns his heavy head toward his friends. He takes a single step toward Vegeta. He stops suddenly in his tracks. His head snaps upward. He looks at the empty sky above the ruined planet. The atmosphere is perfectly clear. The stars shine brightly in the endless void. However, the universe did not heal from the blast. The extreme resonance of the Phoenix flame caused fatal damage. Goku's impossible resurrection broke a fundamental cosmic seal. The dimensional fabric begins to groan under the strain. The sound is a deep, sickening tear. A jagged black line appears in the empty sky. It looks like a massive crack in a glass ceiling. The crack spreads rapidly across the horizon. Red lightning arcs erratically across the black fissure. The temperature drops instantly to absolute zero. The molten lava in the crater freezes into solid black rock. Vegeta's breath fogs heavily in the sudden freezing air. He stares at the broken sky in total confusion. Piccolo shivers violently under the sudden cold. He senses a massive presence from beyond the known multiverse. It is an energy signature older than time itself. It is significantly darker than the primordial Hakai. The crack in the sky opens wider. A massive rift forms in the dimensional wall. The inside of the rift is a swirling vortex of absolute nothingness. It is the forgotten void between universes. It is a place where even the gods fear to tread. A low hum vibrates through the planet's frozen core. The sound bypasses the physical senses entirely. It attacks the mind directly with crippling pressure. Gohan clutches his head in sheer agony. He drops to his knees on the frozen dirt. Vegeta grits his teeth against the immense mental strain. Goku does not move a single muscle. He stares directly into the massive black rift. His golden eyes flare with renewed intense light. The jagged fissures on his body ignite with fresh crimson fire. He senses the approaching cosmic nightmare. Deep within the swirling vortex, something moves. It is a shadow larger than a galaxy. The massive shadow shifts closer to the dimensional tier. The absolute zero temperature freezes the very air into falling snow. The snow turns to ash before hitting the frozen ground. A colossal shape presses against the inside of the rift. The dimensional wall bulges inward under the immense weight. The cosmic seal shatters completely. A massive burning eye opens in the center of the void. The eye is the size of a small planet. The pupil is a vertical slit of jagged purple energy. The iris burns with a sickly green fire. The colossal eye swivels slowly downward. It locks its terrifying gaze directly onto Son Goku. The Ashen Phoenix meets the stare of the void entity. The eye blinks once. The entire universe shudders in violent response. A voice echoes from the other side of the rift. It speaks in an ancient, forgotten tongue. The translation imprints directly onto Goku's mind. It simply states the word found. Goku raises his fiery fists back into a fighting stance. The crimson flame roars against the absolute zero void. The true war for the multiverse has only just begun. Will the Ashen Phoenix hold the line against the forgotten void? Or will this ancient entity extinguish the resurrection flame forever? Let me know your theories in the comments below.